doors and miss end of River Road. There's nothing.
Okay, you have the roll.
Yes, I do.
Well, thanks, Melissa. Okay, so we need a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So they're approved. And then I assume we have no communications and bills, consultant report, changes to sewer use, attorney's report. So we're probably on to the public works.
Yeah, let's see, the only thing I have is that we signed a design contract with AECom, which is one of our on-call wastewater engineers for designing the Burgess Park, Birch Street, Burgess Park pump station. Which is one of our CIP projects.
Okay, where's that?
It's in the neighborhood that's kind of between Clarence B. Sharp and 995. It's kind of one of those island neighborhoods. It got cut off in 95.
Is it still Clarence B. Sharp? They took it off the sign.
Did they?
Yeah,
It's
it's not,
still Clarence B. Sharp, no?
well, I don't know. I mean,
It's just the whole sign gone?
the
or
sign
just-
on the highway no longer says Clarence B. Sharp Highway.
Oh,
It's
we
a city
moved
ground or
on.
something.
It just, yeah, it just says City Route or something along those lines.
Hmm.
I don't know who was Clarence B. Sharp. I always was under the impression it's like a mayor or something. But I have no
Oh.
idea who he was.
Something like that.
So I was looking through the old minutes and I was just down at my mother and my sister's house, so I had time on
Yeah,
my.
right, I bet.
So I was organizing my spreadsheet. So we had been talking earlier in the year about revising the sewer ordinance and particularly the high strength sewer charge. So, I mean, at some point y'all have been working on that and said, well, maybe later in the year it'll be coming to fruition. So is that still, I assume it's still in progress at some
Yeah, it's
level.
progress unless Harry's, I have not been putting a lot of time into it unless Harry has been.
And the one, that's fine. The one thing, I guess we can go on with the agenda, but just as things change with Mystic Cheese and beer, you know, potentially, we had voted to approve revising well, we can't revise it. I guess we have to have the ordinance, town council revise the ordinance for the high strength sewer. Okay, I just thought I'd ask about it.
Okay.
So Harry, you want to tell us about the facility report?
Sure. Everything's, the plant is running okay. It was actually one of our, like the best nitrogen month, I think, ever had.
Due to like a lot of rain or?
Well, so I think a lot of it's due to a lot of extra sludge
Oh,
because as the sludge starts to get closer to being septic, it creates more VFA, volatile fatty acids, in the primary clarifier. And that's, the VFA is important to convert the ammonia in the nitrogen. So even though it's a bad thing that we had this primary clarifier issue going on, this is a unintended intended consequence of it.
And I noticed that when I was going through the old minutes too, and that's still ongoing, right? You're gonna
That clarifier is
get it
right. That primary clarifier 2 is still broken. The engineer has just finalized his plans, so we're getting ready. We should be ready to put that out to bid as the next step. We're gonna come up with some, talk to financing, see how we're gonna fund it.
I was gonna say, and do we need to do anything in terms of the money or the money's there?
Yeah, you might need to.
We might need
Yeah,
to.
I'll know it for next meeting, because it's,
Okay.
the estimate is, I think, just over $1 million.
Oh,
mm,
minor.
Not a minor repair.
Okay,
Still no supervisor. The equipment operator, says the interviews are scheduled, but I think that they're not. I think we have to go back out to, post for new applicants. Yeah, rest of the- So Gravel Street Pump Station, which is undergoing its renovation. Actually, just within the last couple of days, the contractor's been down there, bringing in stuff and working on there, actually working on it. So I know this is last month's report, but that's what's going on there now. I think that's it for the plant. So we're still short the equipment operator and an operations supervisor.
okay. I have nothing to report. I asked my couple questions already. So we're on to old business update on Beard and Mr. Keys.
Yeah, I talked to Kevin Fitzgerald, who's our ARPA coordinator today. I got an update from him. For Beard, the contractor did get that's working for Beard, ordered some equipment. He got he submitted for a deposit check. He got that last week. So that equipment's been ordered. It is about a 6 to 9 week lead time on that. So we're probably looking at mid to end of January before they see that equipment that they need to install. So it'll be a little bit of time, but I think we've gotten past the reimbursement issue with them.
Okay, good.
Kind of moving forward. Same thing with Mystic Cheese. They did order some equipment as well back in October, and they've received payment for that.
Good,
So
okay.
it's slowly moving forward.
Slow forward movement is great to have. Okay, and
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
I think you mentioned that we're talking about changing the ordinance regarding the
High school. Sure.
is the town attorney, I presume he would be drafting it. Is that the process or is it?
Well, he would be in conjunction with us. I mean, we would probably be the ones drafting it and running it by
Okay.
him and having him put it all together.
Okay, when do you expect to start doing that soon or?
Yeah, knowing that this stuff's moving forward, at least we can get that one going.
So, yeah, I guess would it make sense to revise that formula? Cause that was a pretty simple change. I've forgotten changing 100 to 200 or
Yeah, we had the
whatever it
consultant come in and make
was.
some recommendations.
Yeah. Whereas, revising the whole ordinance and all the
A lot more
different-
time-consuming.
there's a lot more in there, so, I mean, there's an advantage, obviously, to only bringing it to council once, but maybe bringing just the simple change of the high strength formula would make sense in order to just get that taken care of. I mean, I have no idea how this all works. If you need us to come to council meeting or whatever, or me as chairman, I can certainly do that.
All right, we'll find out what the process is. Report back.
Okay, that'd be great. Anything else?
Sorry about that. Everybody wants my money.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on to Groton Housing Authority pilot.
Yeah.
Look at this. Now it thinks my name is Tracy. I get a lot of them from my wife, but I don't even know anybody named Tracy.
I have so many filters set up. I don't hear from anybody I don't know.
Well,
wanna
I
look.
get them shoved into to one folder, but it's still, they still ring. I
Yeah.
guess I could probably stop that, but I haven't done it yet. Sorry about that.
I did hear back from the town attorney. I have an email here. I can share that with you. About, what we can reasonably charge. The bottom line is he still needs to do a little bit more research on it. And he's, I think, concerned about criteria we would base the rate upon, and how do we exclude other complexes?
Right, no, I think that's a fair. issue.
Sorry, that was rude. I thought we were,
No,
it was.
fine.
So I think, it would probably be prudent to wait till he can come back with a final determination. He does mention some other statutes at the bottom there that have to do Section 8, which is housing stuff, and I did look those up. And I have to double check to see if I don't believe that they're paying any property taxes, but I have to verify that, because if they are, there is a state statute talks about property taxes and sewer system usage charges, together cannot be more than 10% of the shelter rent per year for each dwelling unit. If you remember, I think the housing authority came in with like this little less than $1 million. They wanted to do when they subtract utilities off that, want to do 5% of that number. So the state statute says you can't go more than 10% of the full number, including property taxes. So I think if we're not, taxing them on real property and it's just the sewer use, that's all they get billed from the town for, then I think we're well below the 10% would be like $90,000.
I don't understand this email. Because, from what I remember about the discussion about this subsidy or whatever you want to call it, there are other towns that have already done this exact same
I
thing.
asked about that. Stonington does not do it, and he could not find any evidence that Montville or London do it either. Those are like 3 or 4 towns that they had mentioned they're doing it. So I thought that was a little bit interesting that unless they're doing a pilot and something else other than sewer use. But as far as sewer use, they're not. He's the chair of the WPCA at Stonington too, so he says they're not doing it over at Stonington.
That's interesting. All right. Do you happen to know what the pilot agreements under these statutes he's referring to are, or is that a general pilot agreement between the town and the?
Yeah, that's what I was. I looked up. That's what I was talking about. I looked those up. There's different ones. Like if we charge the housing authority, standard property taxes, stuff that can't be more than 10% of their rental income per year,
Okay.
and that it also specifically says sewer use charges including in that property tax. That's why I need to check to see, because I don't believe we are charging them any property tax.
I wouldn't know.
Don't believe that they get it.
We just get the sewer use bill. I think that's all we do.
Okay. Sort of explains it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so I undoubtedly, after our last meeting, I got an email from, I've forgotten his name, the chairman of the,
Bob Frank.
Oh,
yeah.
asking, how's it
Just
going?
asking, how's it going? And I said, we had, sent stuff off to the, town council, so. That way I'll get another email inquiring. So this email per se doesn't address the issue of the other towns that you were just mentioning.
No, there was another email that I had
Okay.
from him that he said Stonington, Montville, and London don't appear to have any special rate for their housing authorities.
I wonder if they have a pilot agreement like
For property
for the
taxes.
property taxes,
Yeah,
but
that's-
that's a whole different
That's-
thing.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, okay.
So would there be if they're not paying property tax here, would there similarly be a pilot for that? Or are there other mechanisms Groton could have used to,
For property taxes or?
yeah, for the Groton?
You mean to establish a program to reduce their sewer charges?
No. If, because earlier, you said you didn't think housing authority was paying property taxes. I'm just asking whether in order for that to be the case, there would have had to been a pilot agreement established to do
that's
that. Or there's other mechanisms.
Some kind of an agreement of some sort, yeah. We'll have to do some research on that.
Well, who owns,
Yeah,
who owns the housing authority? Is it owned by the town?
It's a quasi-town agency.
I mean,
don't know.
Towns don't, I mean, it's like Fitch High School, I'm sure doesn't pay property taxes. And I would
but they pay
assume,
for water.
They pay water and sewer, they pay all utilities.
right. But they don't pay, I'm sure they don't pay property taxes, and the same thing might apply to
It's
a
any
town-owned.
Yeah, if it's town owned, right, then they just. don't.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I can
Any
see
other
that there
town
might be a,
building, We don't pay property taxes, but we pay sewer uses
Right.
charges.
Right.
well, okay. What- I think Bob's gonna have to do a little research if he wants to justify getting this.
Well, I guess what I'm wondering is about, let me just. And would it make sense for me to direct them to you, Greg, to get sort of a update of what we know, or shall I just,
You want Hugh to
Tell
run
them.
interference.
as best as I can,
Well, maybe
Well-
he ought to talk direct to the town attorney.
but to
I mean, he's the
Cody?
head of the,
Right, it's a big ask.
yeah, and it's also, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
what
whether or
I'm
not
just-
they represent the housing authority, but they,
Yeah, that I don't know, I don't
yeah,
know.
but
He couldn't,
I thought,
he is the head of the housing authority. It's his lawyer too.
Mhm.
I mean,
I don't know if they
Yeah.
represent them or not.
some reason
Well, I
I
know that-
thought when they were here, the woman who was here, who was maybe the manager,
Mhm.
had
The one that sat over
said
there.
there was another attorney.
well, it could be another attorney within the same firm.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
I represented the
understand, but I
housing
thought it was a
authority in
different-
Norwich and we represented the town.
a different-
But I didn't do any of the town work. Well, I
Okay,
did a
So
little,
all I'm asking is who's it best to have
Mhm.
communicating with Bob so that we're giving him it, like if we're expecting him to do more research on there, and we need to let him know that.
Yeah, I think, if I can get some answer from the town attorney in the next week or two, maybe I could send it to him
Okay.
and and if they do have an attorney, I mean, maybe the attorneys need to
Mhm.
talk. I hate to say
well,
that.
I wouldn't,
Right.
again, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same law firm.
Mhm.
They can try to work, figure out. Really, all we need to know is this something that you can legally do, right? I mean, once we've got to that, then we can make a decision about whether we want to do it.
Mhm.
But it sounds like, from what we're hearing now, it sounds like it's really not something that's available to us. Unless,
Well, it's gonna be, he hasn't said you can't do it, it's just how you wanna apply it, and
Right.
so that you're just applying to the housing authority, not getting everybody else in here.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a legitimate concern.
Well, since he reached out to Hugh, should you mention to him the fact that you're hearing that there's no evidence that anyone else is being given
I'll
this?
tell him to watch this video.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah, maybe the best way. I mean, the situation is obviously we don't have enough information, and so it's
Right.
gonna take some time to
Yeah, that's, you're right about, he doesn't exclude the possibility. He says he needs to do more research, so.
Okay, so are we, anything further on that topic?
So,
If we're done, okay, thanks. So the meeting calendar is the first new business and, Melissa included all the dates. I haven't put those in. the calendar yet.
I guess the only question that none of them are holidays, right?
I triple checked, but
Okay.
I could have messed up, but
Yeah,
I doubt it. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing looks
yeah, nothing looked like.
right.
Okay, and so I don't think, we don't need to do anything. That's just an FYI for us, right?
Well, no, you need to adopt it.
Oh, we need to adopt it?
I move we adopt the meeting calendar as set forth on the document we obtained.
The meeting packet.
Right.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So that passes unanimously. Okay,
All right, here we go.
okay, the sewer refund.
Okay, so homeowner at, 120 Ledgeland Drive paid their motor vehicle tax, which on August 1st. Then they ended up selling the car. So there was excess tax money from what she had paid. So that money was applied to their sewer bill.
And then they paid the sewer bill.
Then they paid the sewer bill.
Okay.
Tax office just did that automatically.
Oh,
I called the tax collector today myself, and that's Harry's saying it's true. They paid twice, basically.
Yeah.
So that must be documented in here somewhere, and if I had spent like an hour or two, I might have been able to figure it out.
It took a while for me to.
Sharp
I'm like,
homeowner.
why am I refunding a motor vehicle tax bill? I'm looking at the
Yeah,
packet.
yeah.
Well, you would know about it if you were the homeowner, because. Oh, or maybe, well, maybe not, maybe,
yeah,
So I'll make a motion that we should, provide the refund, and we need a second.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
perhaps we won't do that again.
Hopefully not.
So then
well,
he,
that's interesting. I mean, what they could do is notify the taxpayer that that's what they did.
Yeah, it's almost like they happened almost simultaneously, it
Yeah.
seems like.
I know that I had a situation where my car got destroyed, so I paid, they did send, actually, I think, I was trying to remember whether they sent me something or credited me too. I think they might have, but it was shown in the bill so that I knew it was happening, I think. I'm not positive.
Okay, so our next meeting is December.
So I can sign that.
oh, you can tell, okay.
Thumbs will go that I can
Okay.
sign as the.
You don't
Got it.
need this, okay. So then our next meeting is December 12th. Everybody good with that?
Yeah, actually, I did want to ask, has anybody come up with a name, possible name of another member for them? We really do need
Yeah, well,
somebody else. I'll try to remember to raise it at the, although we're supposed to be good to get a Republican. Oh, if it's
well,
supposed to
we're
be,
allowed to have, I believe we're allowed to have one more Democrat.
right, well,
It's the last position would then have to be filled by an independent or Republican.
well, anyway, it would be,
I don't know, I think some earlier when we had the discussion, maybe with the town attorney, the time he came
yeah,
to.
we're not even gonna have a meeting until January. So there's no way I can raise these thing at them, if anybody's interested.
Yeah, it would be good, because some point next year, I'm supposed to have cataract surgery, which shouldn't be a big deal, but I will try to schedule it sort of immediately after a meeting, so I
Yeah.
have a month to.
There's a guy that
adjust.
swims every morning at the Y, and he had cataract surgery. He was out for a week, so it's not.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't really be a big deal, but, you know,
Oh, yeah, because they told me he couldn't swim until
you just don't know until it happens, so I will try to remember not to schedule it like a few days before.
They had trouble reading, I think. I don't know how that
Yeah,
works.
hopefully it would just be
Yeah.
trouble reading, but. Anyway,
All right, so
okay, so I guess we need a motion to adjourn.
moved.
Second.
All in favor,
I.
Aye.
thank you.